Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Godden alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come in off another victory a weekend ago. That ran their win streak up to 7 now.
And I think that win last week established them as Super Bowl frontrunners. They're playing with confidence and swagger, and you need that to go a long way.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
They go play action here on first down. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now let's go! 3-19! 3-19!
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
3-19!
Back to throw now on first down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. A gain of 6 there on first.
Well, I know from past experience, before you actually play a game, you visualize what's going to happen. And I don't know anyone who doesn't visualize themselves being in the center of what's going on. That's 3 catches for him here in the early going. He's got to like the way this is started.
Absolutely. 3 catches on any drive is good. Opening drive, that's a tone setter. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage. Out of the gun now on third down. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how he wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is when we find out what he has underneath that jersey. Because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
Green 39! Green 39! No, check that. We're gonna
On first down, Fowler over the middle, the catch by Coleman. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Back to throw. found it. And pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Naeem Hines, his first carry. And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
Sony Michel, his first carry. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
Nice job there defensively on 3rd down. Not only did they string the play out, but they didn't allow any room for a cutback. Really well organized on the defensive side.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
Let's go! Blue landed!
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
And the ball moved up here now to 2nd and 7 following the penalty.
Now let's go! 3-19!
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment, defense.
So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
Now let's go! Blue landed! Blue landed!
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. We just saw their first one of this game.
They'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised on the ball here just to try and get some space.
To throw it off play action. Onto it through the contact. Well, shame on them, Coach Davis. They went against your ball, and now they're backed up to punt this away.
They're actually fortunate. They went against my advice, but they didn't turn it over, right? The defense, they'll punt it now. They probably could have gained a few yards if they ran it, though, and helped out with field position.
Returnable here from the 38. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And right now, a lot to like on that screen. They've wrapped up the division, now currently sitting in the coveted number 2 spot. Of course, you want one, you'd love number 1, but if you can't have one, number 2 is pretty good.
I agree with you totally, and here's the other part, too. The really good teams, the really confident teams, they're not as worried about being number 1. 2 is fine because they feel like they can go on the road and win against number 1 if they absolutely have to. The big thing, though, is clinching one of those early buys and able to sit and get a little rest as the playoffs begin.
And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The numbers for Diggs from a week ago, 5 catches, 73 yards.
Third in the league in receiving yards, and that's a strong number. That means he's being consistent each and every time out.
Now a play fake here on first down. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A good pickup there at 22.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney. Barney. Over.
Now a first down carry. It's Michel. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
On second down, Michel. So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. Can't wait to see what the second quarter has in store. We're back to Minneapolis in just a moment.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you and you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
And they've got it here with a first down.
Lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney. Watch 88. Back. On your team.
And they will run it with Michel. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Second and goal from the 6 this time. They get it to him running left. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and they're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal.
Detroit! All right, now, Lucky 56.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Flushed out right. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Lions have recovered. A bad 3rd down mistake there.
Points were already on the board in their mind. And that's the worst part about it, right? Because it's just like in golf. Never count it in the cup until it rolls in there. Otherwise, you can really get messed up with your scores. In this case, you know they thought, hey, at least 3, maybe even a chance to get 6. It's a little bit demoralizing going off the field now that you've turned it over and you come up empty.
Yeah, if he holds on to that, at least the field goal on 4th down. Now they lose it.
For more information, please request additional.
All right, here we go. Boom, 90.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off at about the 31. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is this horoscope ball? Is biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? This is caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They get it to him running left. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
On 3rd down, that's Hines, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Nyheim Hines, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6.
But they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times that's a passing play.
The kicker just has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
Elliott now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the 2nd quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Set! Green, 39!
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Encroachment defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped. But I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
All right, here we go.
He'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down.
Hey, hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Back to throw. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Young. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. Even though they might not find the number 1 seed next to their name come playoff time, there's not going to be very many teams, if any, entering the playoffs on the kind of run they're on. They're hot.
And I love that word, hot, because every team in the league wants to go into the playoffs on that uptick. Because a lot of the time you serve notice to the rest of the league that, hey, we're the team you need to deal with. We're the team that's going to be a real problem for you. And if they can continue this streak, they could very well be that team and gain that confidence that they're seeking as they head to the playoffs.
And confidence, that's the word I would use from our meetings with them. They said we're playing our best football right now. It is showing. To throw on second down. Fowler. Left side caught by Diggs. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Michelle. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have had to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive. Throwing on first down. Fowler. Coleman has it here right side. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. Two minutes remain here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Looking to throw. Fowler. Throw left side complete. It's Howell. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target.
Detroit!
On 1st and 10, Fowler. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a first down.
Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
4 down, 4 down. Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39. Hot.
On first down, Fowler. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. As his guys are in for 6, and the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
Elliott now to add the extra point. Elliott good with a PAT, and that'll make the score 14-0. Elliott now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
Well, they didn't really have to earn that first down, did they?
Well, they're not having earned much, are they?
Still first down.
Back-to-back penalties. First was 1st and 5, and now they give them a first down.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. Back to throw here. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play. Now 2nd and 13. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So the penalty erases their earlier loss. Now it's 2nd and 8. They'll set up to throw. It's complete to Lockett. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Encroachment. Defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction.
Set! Green, 39!
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Tyler Lockett, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions able to get this back within a touchdown. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed, and a lot of football, full half to be played. Extra point right down the middle, and that'll make our score 14-7. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nifty return there as he's all the way up past the 40-yard line.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Throwing on 1st down. Fowler. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. As the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56. Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Off the play fake. Fowler. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And this will be caught at the 30. And all the way down to the 29. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
4 down. Check. Detroit!
On 1st and 10, Fowler. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. In for the score. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now 21-7. Elliott now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, But the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early. But if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. The Lions on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 4.
Set. Green, 39. Green,
And now
39.
whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Automatic first down.
Here's a 1st and 10 now after they successfully drew him off sides.
Here we go now. Blue landed.
They'll look to throw here. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll throw now on the final play. Wide open receiver complete. So we've reached halftime here on New Year's Eve. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. It is the final weekend of the regular season. Final.
And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they? I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
On 1st down, Fowler steps away to his left. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. He got 29 yards that time.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it, and it took the ball off course.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Off play action. Fowler. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. first possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Yeah, he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Lions have recovered.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. They'll look to throw here on first down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. No gain on the screen there. It's second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment, defense.
So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot,
Still
you are
second down.
like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5.
All right, here we go. Green 39, green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They'll drop the throw, and that is incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Now the Lions, they send out the field goal unit here. They'll put it down right at the 40, so call this a 50-yard attempt. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
They try the 50-yarder and miss it, and now this offense has it 1st and 10 at the 40. They'll try to get this offense going with Michel. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Fowler. Wide open receiver, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. They give him a gain of 38.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This is caught. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. They get it to him running left. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Sony Michel, his 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So out now come the Lions. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive, missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you know, you've put something out there, you've given yourself a chance, you're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the posts. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. The attempt on the dive, and he has it. What a catch. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
I know at retirement ceremonies, a rocking chair is often one of the major gifts, but don't give this guy one just yet. He may be plus 30, but my goodness, how about that effort?
Yeah, he's not that old. Hey, I'm on the wrong side of 32.
You okay? You feeling all right?
I'll be all right.
Okay, good.
I just need some chocolate and a box of tissues.
1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He goes underneath to Freeman. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up 3rd. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the...
And they drop him for a loss, but penalty markers are on the field. Let's see about the call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. The penalty is a result of that hit there.
A bad time for a roughing penalty, and they get the gift of a 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. It kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a 1st down.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Casey Hayward. Through an opening, and there he goes. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Elliott on for the extra point. Elliott good with a PAT, and that'll increase their lead to 28. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
They told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Back to throw now on 1st down. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it indeed.
Personal
Here come
foul.
the flags.
Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face
Automatic
mask.
first down.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
They're going to look to throw. And that is incomplete here.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again, the 25, 2nd and 10.
Set. Green 39. Green.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. This will be caught inside the 10. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. First target, first catch, and a 1st down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there.
And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. 1st down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back
39.
even further.
Green 39.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he'll take this one down near the 15. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
They're able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37. Again, it's Michelle. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a third down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. On the handoff, it's Michel. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a fourth down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And their lead will swell up to 28. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
The loss of 3 on that first down pass play, now 2nd and 13.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Hot.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And that one results in 35 yards. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
And down to the 36-yard line here. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
The Lions on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Set. 319. 319.
They'll set up a throw. Wide open receiver complete. Touchdown, Detroit. Paul Richardson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team. But I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will shave 1 more off this lead. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for the Vikings, a final win here means they'll finish at 14-2. And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl.
Somebody call for the queen.
I never anybody, but I got something to do with that. I got the streets on my back, carry it like I'm moving them. I told him the hunter, like he trying to move it up. It was like 11 in the morning, skipping school, that's a truancy about it. I made me some rest in the morning, I had me up about a